Well, in a world of cars that are getting launched in the Indian market, today we have perhaps the fastest one making its way to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ferrari Amalfi Spider. The Amalfi Spider takes over from the Roma Spider as Ferrari's open-top front-engined Grand Tourer. It follows a star-studded lineage that has included the likes of the Ferrari California, the Ferrari Portofino, and the Ferrari Roma. The basic formula remains familiar: a front mid-mounted V8, rear-wheel drive, and a 2+2 cabin. But the design and technology has of course moved on substantially. Created by the Ferrari Styling Center under Flavio Manzoni, its shape is clearer and more monolithic than the Roma's. The long bonnet and cab rearward stance retain classic Grand Tourer proportions, while the narrow lighting signature, dark front band and sculpted rear give it a sharper, more technical identity. सिंपल शब्दों में कहें तो आपको अब Ferrari Amalfi थोड़ी सी Ferrari Purosangue SUV जैसी आगे से देखने को मिल जाती है। साइड प्रोफाइल में भी ज्यादा कैरेक्टर लाइंस है। पहले की तरह क्लीन मोनोलिथिक डिजाइन से अब आगे बढ़कर थोड़ा सा मसल आ गया है इस गाड़ी में। थोड़ा सा Ferrari Daytona SP3 टाइप वाइब्स हमें इस साइड प्रोफाइल में देखने को मिलती है। और जो रियर सेक्शन है गाड़ी का वो भी पहले से ज्यादा फ्लैट है। तो भले ही पहले ग्लांस में आपको दूर से अमाल्फी रोमा जैसी दिखे, लेकिन पास से जब आप देखेंगे आपको रियलाइज होगा कि ये गाड़ी वाकई में कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट है, इतना कि एवरी सिंगल पैनल ऑन दिस कार इज एक्चुअली ब्रांड न्यू. Of course, the highlight though is the roof and the practicality of the car that comes with it. It has a 5-layer fabric roof which can open or close in 13.5 seconds and can be operated at speeds up to 60 kilometers an hour. Ferrari says कि जब ये रूफ बंद आप कर लेंगे तो अंदर का जो नॉइस इंसुलेशन है दैट इज गोइंग टू बी एट पार विद द हार्ड टॉप मॉडल. लगेज कैपेसिटी की बात करें तो 255 लीटर का आपको बूट स्पेस यहां देखने को मिल जाता है जब आपने इसकी रूफ बंद कर रखी है. जब आप इसकी रूफ खोलेंगे तो सेक्शन ऑफ दैट goes and takes up the boot space, and at that point you have 172 liters of boot space capacity. The big change although comes here in the interior of the Amalfi Spider, and the big change is this little button right here. This is now a physical button. Earlier this used to be a touch sensitive button over here right in the middle of the steering wheel, and that was the change that the Ferrari Roma brought, which was the earlier entry level model, and it replaced the Portofino M, which was the entry-level model that was replaced by the Roma. So essentially, with the latest generation of the entry-level model, Ferrari has gone back to a physical button on the steering wheel, and of course, most of the buttons here are now physical, and that tells you a big change in the way Ferrari is thinking how their entry-level model should be. They're listening to the feedback, they're listening to the customers, and they have made the change that people wanted. Let's talk about the interior as a whole. Of course, this is a Ferrari. Everything is built in the best way possible. Everything is pristine. Everything is top-notch, and it's an occasion to be inside the interior of the Ferrari Amalfi Spider. Of course, I'm being seated over here. I have lovely Ferrari steering wheel at my hand, and as you can see, all the buttons and all the features are right here, even the indicators, because there are no stocks over here at the back. I've got these large paddle shifters. The idea is Ferrari says that at all times your hands should be at the steering wheels. That's why you don't have a stock at the back, and that is why the indicators are on the steering wheel as well. The other change that we see as opposed to the Roma is the way this section of the interior has been laid out. Earlier it used to flow all the way through, creating a marked differentiation between the two segments of the front seat area. Now it's more of a floating like setup for the dash over here. We continue to see these really lovely gated style gear selector section where we select drive for the car. This feels like a hark back to the iconic gated manual section of earlier Ferraris. That is what we get to see here, even though this is an automatic. All in all, it's a fantastic place to be in. And yes, this is a convertible, so if you put the roof down, you have headroom times infinity. Now this is a Ferrari, so the highlight is under the bonnet. What you see here is a 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8 producing 640 horsepower and 760 Nm of torque. This comes with an 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox which sends power to the rear wheels. In simple words, 0 to 100 km an hour can be done in 3.3 seconds. But more impressively, 0 to 200 km an hour can be done in just 9.4 seconds, and the claimed top speed of the car is 320 km an hour. Other features include brake-by-wire, ABS Evo, and a 3-position active rear wing which can generate up to 110 kilograms of additional aerodynamic load at 250 km an hour. इंडिया में Ferrari Amalfi Spider 4.6 crore rupees ex showroom के price tag के साथ आती है, which makes this Ferrari's most usable everyday open-top GT without diluting the performance or the theatre that is expected from a V8 Ferrari. So a couple of things are for sure. Ferrari is listening to the customers, is listening to the feedback, and while they have been in the news for all kinds of reasons, this is a car that instills confidence once again. Fun fact, the return of the physical button is a very big thing. If you know Ferrari for a long time, you know that changes come from a long series of thought processes, and it really takes time for them to come down to their cars. Now we see that happening in their entry-level model. This is a very heartening thing to see. As for the car, well, if you have about 5 crore rupees change lying around and you want to spend it, there's hardly better way to do that than the Amalfi Spider.